Hey, you, don't touch your face. Not unless you just properly washed your hands, because outside of this door right here, there's a virus, COVID-19. I'm sure you've heard of it. And it's on those hands. Today I'm going to explain to you how to properly wash your hands to get rid of COVID-19 and other, bacteria and viruses. Um, so you've been hearing everywhere that the one thing you can do to prevent the spread of this disease is obviously don't touch your face, but also to wash your hands. That's the one thing that's been stressed from TV commercials, from caring relatives to people that know everything. But no one actually explains why hand washing works. They don't tell you how to properly wash your hands. And, without those two things, why do I care about something I don't understand? It's a lot harder for me to care about something I don't understand. And then also, if I don't know how to properly wash my hands, then I'm not doing the best job that I can, and I probably still am spreading the virus. So I'm going to explain today how hand washing works. I'm going to explain the ideal conditions for hand washing and what to do if you can't reach those ideals. And then finally, I'm going to explain to you how to properly wash your hands, the technique, and the two most important things to it, which is coverage and duration. So to start, I would like to talk about how it works. According to globalhandwashing.org, when you wash your hands with running water and soap, you first coat your hands in the water and then the soap. The soap binds to the dirts and oils on your hand that harbor all these viruses and bacteria. And then the water then washes away this soap and, by extension, these dirts and things that harbor these viruses down the drain and off your hands. You don't have to worry about it. So what about hand sanitizer, right? That's another very common thing people are using during this pandemic. According to health.harvard.edu, hand sanitizer works in a much different way. It doesn't clean your hands at all. In fact, it simply denatures the proteins of the viruses so that they can't properly perform their duties and infect you and spread themselves. It, in essence, kills them. So now you know how it works, both hand washing and hand sanitizing. But what about the ideal conditions for washing your hands, right? Because that's just as important. And according to globalhandwashing.org, the ideal conditions would be somewhere with clean running water, you would have soap, and you would have a clean towel to dry your hands. The temperature of the water is not important as long as it's not scalding hot, because that is detrimental to the health of your skin and hands. The soap that you use doesn't really matter. Antibacterial soaps, according to globalhandwashing.org, have been proven in multiple studies over the years to be ineffective. So any soap will work because it just needs to bind to those dirts and wash them away. And then for drying, again, a clean towel is way better than air drying, according to globalhandwashing.org, because any suffocants, dirt, anything like that that's left on your hands can be removed with that dry towel when you dry your hands. So what if you can't reach these ideals? So basically, the one thing you need to worry about is just washing your hands with what you can. Dirty water will work, according to globalhandwashing.org, as will soapy water in the instance of soap being too expensive, say a third world country, or honestly, with the state of our economy, maybe your household. So you can dilute your soap and use soapy water. That'll work about as well. You can use wood ash. That's what they used in, medieval times and prior to that. And it's actually what they used to make soap. If you don't have running water, you can pour water over your hands from a basin. It's just important that you do wash your hands. If you can't reach these ideals, just do what you can to wash your hands. Anything helps. So now I'd like to talk about the proper technique for washing your hands. We've been over how you wash, we've been over how it works. We've been over the ideal conditions, but what about the technique for washing your hands? So according to CDC.gov, which is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the proper way to wash your hands is to turn on your sink, wet your hands, turn off your sink, coat your hands in soap, making sure to get every nook and cranny. That means wrists, that means in between fingers, fingernails, and fingertips, everywhere, because it is important that you cover everything. Then you turn your sink back on, you rinse away the soap, and you dry your hands with a clean towel. So then, according to health.harvard.edu, the two most important things to focus on when washing your hands would be the coverage and duration. The coverage is important for both normal hand washing and hand sanitizing. Because in the case of sanitizing, if it's not covered, if the virus isn't touched by that alcohol, it won't be denatured and it won't be killed. And for hand washing, if it's not in contact with soap, when you rinse your hands, it won't wash away. So you need to make sure you get every nook and cranny. Coverage is of essence. Also, duration is of essence. According to Harvard or health.harvard.edu, the ideal time for washing your hands is at least 20 seconds. You don't want to go under that. You can go over it, but you do not want to go under it. You can sing happy birthday twice to remember this. So we've been over hand washing, or proper hand washing, by first explaining how it works. I then explained the ideal conditions you want to meet, and then I explained the proper technique according to the CDC. In closing, I would just like to say that, we've got this virus I've mentioned outside of this door right here, and I'm sure it's outside of your door too. It's affecting everybody on this planet. But if we can get together and we can try to quell the spread of this disease through something as simple as washing our hands, I say we do it. We can stick together and we can beat this.